Good morning, everyone. John here from LookSmart Home Inspections, and today we're going to be inspecting this flip house or this recently renovated home. And I didn't know it was a recently renovated home or a house that was flipped until I pulled up, so I wasn't really aware of that. But I tell you what, these houses have a certain signature. They have some weirdness to them. You just have to understand that these homes here, you have to be super careful because obviously it's a profit motive, right? So somebody buys the house low, puts a few dollars into it, and then renovates it, hopefully well. And then what they do is they put it on the market and hopefully make, a bunch of money from it. So you have to be real careful, and you have to choose your home inspector carefully also. Somebody with plenty of experience in dealing with this type of thing, somebody who uses thermal imaging in their home inspections, just to do a really, really thorough home inspection on this house, because you never know what you're going to find in these homes. So let's take a look and see what we have here on the outside. My client's going to show up in just a couple minutes, but I do think that I may be able to tell you you guys about this house a little bit from the exterior. The first thing that tells me that this house has been recently renovated is we have fresh paint everywhere, including the foundation walls. So generally, if a family is living in this house, they're not usually going to pretty up the outside like this. And so we have a recently painted foundation wall and recently painted exterior siding, which is metal siding. So that's been recently painted, probably sprayed. It doesn't look like it was brush painted. And this is actually what we would actually like to see, is a spray exterior, paint on metal siding. But anyway, that's the first clue that this is a flip house, is we have a painted foundation wall black. I mean, who paints the foundation wall black? And then we have sort of this purplish color here. And then they even went as far as painting the gutters and the downspouts. And this is just to really pretty up the outside for sale. One thing we notice, and we're not certainly doing an inspection right now, but I'm just trying to look at some things. We see the downspouts are too close to the exterior foundation walls. So you too want to make sure that those downspouts get directed 4 or 5 feet away, because we certainly don't want water collecting along that exterior wall where it can seep into the porous block foundation walls and cause a problem in the basement. So that's definitely going to go into the report. And over there to the right of the downspout, it's probably a dryer vent that we're going to take a look at also. If we look at this window here, we have some, really neat paint job on that window. I mean, why spend all the time painting the exterior of the home and then leave your exterior window trims like this? That certainly doesn't make any sense. So, that obviously should really be repainted. And this is just some of the crazy stuff you see when a house has been renovated for sale. So you guys should look at this. Look for this when you're thinking about buying a home. You really need to know if your home has been recently renovated for sale, because that should, you really need a thorough and complete home inspection for sure. Here we have our garage. The garage has been recently painted, the exterior siding and the foundation walls, but we've left the old garage door here. So, that doesn't really make any sense to me. If you're going to go that and do that, make the exterior of the garage nice, why not just paint that door as well? So, it's another clue. Here we have a really old air conditioning unit. I mean, why change that? Why give your buyer a new air conditioner? Why secure this wire also? This is the electrical wire in conduit to the AC unit from the disconnect, and it's just kind of laying on top there. So, why secure that, right? If we look at our chimney top here, we have 2 terracotta flues protruding the top of the chimney, but we don't have any rain hats or caps on the chimney top. So what do we have? We have open terracotta to the outside, right? And so what's going to happen? Snow's going to go in, rain's going to go in, and that's going to delaminate and cause problems to the interior of our chimney liners, right? So it's highly likely that when we look at this chimney liner, that it's going to need replacement. And the vast majority of chimney liners of this age are going to need replacement. But we do really want to look for those rain hats at the top of the chimney, and that prevents water, snow, ice, and even wildlife from entering the chimney top. So look for that on your own home or a home that you're thinking about buying. In these renovated for sale houses, nobody ever pays attention to the exterior ground. It's always flat, or even if it's flat, sometimes it even has a negative grade. So pay attention to this, because we certainly don't want water collecting along the exterior foundation walls where it can seep into the basement and cause ourselves a world of problems. Obviously, water infiltration is one of the highlights that we look for, during a home inspection. So check that grading, and if it's flat, or if it's neutral, or if it has a negative slope, that for sure should be corrected. Even in homes that you live in right now, guys, you really want to make sure that the exterior grading is dealt with properly. We want a positive grade from the outside. We want our downspouts discharging away from the foundation, and we want gutters that are unobstructed and free flowing that can direct our water away from the home. If we do these simple things on the outside, generally we can really mitigate any problems with water infiltration occurring on the inside of our homes. If you're going to take the time to paint the exterior siding, the foundation, the shutters, even the main service mast of the electrical, and then you're going to do this, and you're going to make this sloppy mess around the exterior of the windows, does that make any sense? Like, why? Tell me how that makes sense. Hey guys, when you look at a garage, you want to have a gutter system on a detached garage. The same thing on a home, right? So our water is going to cascade off the roof. It's going to end up close to our garage foundation here. Now, this is a fully masonry garage, so we don't really have, so to speak, wood rot issues going to develop here unless we have wood structure on the inside, which I doubt. It looks like it's fully masonry. But we don't want to have that water collecting around the exterior foundation walls the same way that we don't want to have water collecting around the foundation walls of the house. So we always like to recommend a gutter system on the detached garage to direct our water away. We want our water to be directed away from the foundation walls of the detached garage. So just something I'm going to make a note of. Also, we have a missing window right there. When we have something like this, like a window low to the ground or this patio, so this is considered a walking surface right here. Believe it or not, that window should be a tempered glass window, and we're going to look for the tempered glass seal when we go inside. And plus, when you move in this house, we want to make sure that we direct our water away from this window. So we want to make sure that we want to remove snow and ice from this window. And generally speaking, when we have a window this low to the ground, less than 6 inches, we want to have a window well here. And what a window well does is it allows us to direct our soil away. In this case, we would have a window well that allows that patio to have a sort of a retaining wall, and we would recommend a cover so to keep water out of there. So just, make sure you keep your snow and ice away from these basement windows, because they can be vulnerable to water infiltration problems. So just keep an eye on that in your own home or a home that you're thinking about buying. This is the location of the discharge for the sump pump. So right here. So you think that's too close to the foundation wall? Yeah, that's way too close to the foundation wall, because if the sump pump discharges, all our water is going to collect right here. This is our electric right here. We don't want water, actually discharging onto where the electric comes into the home. And this is an electric splice right here. So electric wire goes in, gets spliced here, goes into the home. This could be a splice, maybe not, but we don't really want water from this pipe coming right down to that electric wiring that's in this tubing here. So this should be 4 or 5 feet away from the house to direct our water from collecting close to the foundation, because we want to pump the water out and away. We don't want to just pump the water close to the exterior foundation walls, which is quite a problem. This is actually an open sewer line right here. This is the main sewer clean out, but we have another open area here where odor can come in. We have drain flies coming in, and this is about 6 inches from the basement floor. And I don't like to see this. Backups can happen. We're going to do a sewer line inspection to determine if any problems exist, but this is something that's no bueno. Any bathroom that does not have a window, we have a shower vent fan. That vent fan has to be venting to the exterior and not just dumping steam above the ceiling. So these vent fans in bathrooms have to go to the outside. especially if there's no windows. There's no windows in this bathroom. So this has to be corrected. This is our gas line for the dryer. That's obviously not installed, but there should be a disconnect or a valve here to isolate the dryer. Now I tried to chase this up the wall and into the equipment room here, and I couldn't locate the cutoff valve for the dryer. So that should be installed so we don't have to turn off gas flow to the entire house when we go ahead and install our dryer. We should have a valve, gas valve, that looks like this right here. Looking at this furnace, do you guys see how orange that flame is? It's an orange flame. And that's an indication of a poor drafting furnace, because a gas furnace burners, these jet burners, should have a blue flame, and these are orange. So we have some type of problem with the ventilation of this furnace, and that should be checked out, because our furnace is not going to be as efficient, and we could possibly have an issue with carbon monoxide entering the home. So this is something you don't want to mess with. It shouldn't be orange. This window in the tub area, shower here, window here, this should be a tempered glass or safety glass window, and it's not. Typically with a tempered glass window, we would see a indication on the window corners that it is safety glass or tempered glass, and there's nothing here. So this window should be replaced for safety, so you don't put your hand through it when you're taking a shower. This is a sub-panel box in the same house, and we see this 2 wires on one terminal screw for the circuit breaker here and here and here and here. So some of these circuit breakers you can have 2 wires connecting, but the majority of them, this is not allowed. We want to have 1 wire attached to each circuit breaker. This is called double tapping, and this is a very common problem, but we don't really expect to see this in a new renovated home. So we'll definitely let the client know about this problem, and also to get the closed out electrical permits right there. So I'm just waiting for my client to show up to this house. Generally, as a home inspector, I try to get there about a half an hour early, just so I can walk around the house, not really start the inspection, but I can kind of get a feel for what's here, start looking around, and kind of formulate a game plan for where, I want to take the home inspection in terms of, where I want to start, what points I want to deliver, to the client, what's good and what maybe is not so good. So as home inspectors, we generally get here a little bit early. Now, should you guys buy a flip house? Now, I don't want to say that every flip house is done in a poor way. And it really depends on the people, the company that are flipping the home. Some flippers are actually really good. They buy a home, they take pride in what they do, they renovate the home, they meet all codes, they get all the permits, everything is buttoned up well, and that's an easy home inspection, right? Because everything is done the right way. But then you have sort of the flippers, the mom and poppers, I should say, right? So you have a husband and wife, maybe one is a teacher, one is, something else. And then they decide to, flip a home because they want to, they watch HGTV, they see it's exciting, they want to make a few bucks, and then they sort of, try to flip a house themselves. Here is the issue where you have to be careful, because generally this type of flipper does a poor job. They generally don't know what they're doing. They're trying to maximize their profit. They're trying not to lose their shirt in the real estate transaction. They're trying to move very quickly because obviously time is money. They're paying a mortgage on a home that they want to just put some cosmetic changes in and then fix. So that's what I hear all the time, is that, we're going to buy this house and then we're going to do some cosmetic work to it and, put it on the market. But, they don't usually generally do anything to the infrastructure. And when I'm talking about infrastructure, I'm talking about the major systems in the home, right? the electrical, the plumbing, the heating, the HVAC, and sometimes even the structure. Like they do nothing. They do nothing to upgrade this. So basically you walk into a pristine kitchen, you have beautiful bathrooms, and then the main infrastructure of the house is the area that suffers, because that's kind of the thing you don't see. And that's really why you want a good home inspector to inspect these homes. Home inspector with plenty of experience, inspecting this type of the house, because we know what to expect. We know what to look for. We're not going to be sort of, distracted by sort of that, that shiny object, the beautiful kitchen with the marble and the beautiful center island, right? Frankly, I don't care. My job is to tell you exactly what you're buying and to protect you. So I take my job almost as a fiduciary responsibility to my client, such as like a financial person would want to protect their client. That's the way I do this. It's just not really to provide information, which is a big part of what we do or what I do, but I don't do it. My job in my mind, and it doesn't say that in the regulations, is to protect you guys from really making choices that are going to detrimentally affect you and your family down the line, right? If I see something in a house, I'm not going to downplay it. I'm not going to play word games. I'm going to be, forthright and honest. And also the opposite way. If the house is in good condition and we're not finding a whole lot wrong, I'm not just going to make, nonsense up, because that would be doing the opposite extreme, right? So you really need to be able to trust your home inspector. And the home inspector really needs to be coming from the right place, in the right mindset, right? So make sure that you interview those home inspectors and find the right one that is for you. So looks like my client just pulled up here, and I'm going to start going around the outside of the house and actually start the inspection today. Talk to you guys soon.